Hey guys, it's Penta here. Welcome back to another Heroes of the Storm video. This video will be giving you guys some quick tips and tricks with Dragon Knight and Garden Terror. So straight off the bat, you want to only be tanking one turret here, so you don't want to be under fire of both the two turrets because you're taking more damage than you should. So if you tuck yourself in this corner here, you're able to hit one turret and not get shot by the other. If Dragon Knight was captured before level 10, you generally want to try to use it as a distraction so that the enemy team will waste their efforts on defending you while the side lanes can push and they'll lose out on experience. Because I don't see anyone mid here, I'm able to get some free damage onto these turrets. I managed to take out this top one here. And then once I see Zagara and then Kel'Thas, I start to fall back. Now the Dragon Knight has a health bar and a timer, and if you look at your health bar, they're on top of each other. The way you want to play the Dragon Knight is so that these deplete at the same time. So if you have very little time left and you have a lot of HP, then you haven't used it to its full effect. Like, you could have tanked some more turrets or gone in deeper, but if your HP is extremely low and your timer bar is still very high, then you're wasting a lot of the Dragon Knight, and basically you just never want to die. You want to make sure that you're using it to full effect and that the timer is the one that's running out, not your health. So here I just fall back from Kel'Thas and Zagara. I kick Kel'Thas away so he can't put any more damage on me, and I use Q on minion waves to soak. And here the enemy team's playing it right. They have people in each lane to keep up with the soak, and they're putting 2 in mid to defend against me. So once I see my timer starts depleting again, then I go in for this turret. I notice Kel'Thas is still there, so I fall back once I've done that. Now, right here my HP is below my timer, so I want to just hang around, use abilities, don't want to go too deep yet. And then my team groups with me, so I just think I'm pretty much done with the Dragon Knight, I can just get out now. If you're running out of time in the Dragon Knight, you might as well just go for the mid well. But you want to always hit the side walls, not the mid one I'm hitting here, because they have a lot less hit points. So once you have taken the mid 2 turrets, if you still have a lot of time left, you could go bot or top and take those 2 turrets instead of wasting a lot of your timer on trying to get the mid wall. The Dragon Knight's passive is really strong against turrets because it does double damage towards them. And generally you want to get the most attacks off as you can. So if I approach this fort here, as the fort hits me, it's slowing my attack speed, so you can see my attack speed is quite slow. And if you don't know already, when you take down a fort, you gain 800 experience. Now, these turrets also give 400, so if you take both of a lane's turrets, then you're getting 800 as well. But you won't take as much damage, and you won't spend as much time as you will taking a fort. There is an exception though. You can go ahead and hit these forts if no one is here. So if the enemy team were top and bot dealing with the pressure they were getting there, then you could go ahead and start getting the damage onto the fort. Generally you always want to have minions tanking the fort or other heroes on your team, just so that you can get more auto attacks off with that Dragon Knight. So late game, when you have the option to choose who goes in the Dragon Knight because you wiped the enemy team or something, you always want to try and put your damage in it. Reason being is your tank needs to stay there to peel, your support needs to stay there to heal, and depending on your team comp, you can put your second warrior in it, but in this team comp we don't have a second warrior, so we put Kel'Thas in it. A better option would have probably been to put Tychus in it, but he does have his Odin, and that really helps to kill the core, so this time we did put the Kel'Thas in it. Late game, this Dragon Knight is designed to just rip through turrets, rip through cores, so you want to group as a 5 and just push as a group. Each of these Dragon Knight shots are doing up to 1000 damage, so they're designed to just win you the game. Same story with the Dragon Knight. When you pick up your Garden Terror before level 10, you want to try and split off with your team and try to cause a great distraction. Now, with your plants, you could place a Q on top of them so that if they have any melee characters, then they can't exactly get to the plant to auto attack. You also want to play like you do as a Dragon Knight, where you want your timer to be the one that runs out first and not your HP. Now, this technique I'm doing here is called seeding and running, which is where I'm trying to draw the enemy's attention away as much as I can. And what I'm doing is running into choke points of the map and throwing down a Q on top of them, so that when they walk into there, they get polymorphed or have to take another route around. So when I see that the enemies aren't near me, I throw down a plant and a Q on top of it, so that if they were to hit it, they would get polymorphed. I keep running around the map, throwing Qs in any choke points, and I constantly just be a big nuisance. And the enemy has to decide whether or not they commit resources in order to take me out, meaning they would lose soak, or they would only commit 1 or 2 people to do it while maintaining soak in all 3 lanes. Either way, you'll come out on top. When defending against the Terror, you always want to be aiming to take down its pot plant first, as that's the one that does the most damage to the turret and disables it. So here, the plant is put near my turret lines. I run back to it and try and take it down. If you were to push with the Terror, then sometimes it's smart to put the plant near your team, so that if the enemies try to get towards the plant and kill it, then they would just be taken down. In this way, the enemies are forced to overextend to get the plant, or to just ignore it, and with this method you're able to get easy forts and keeps. Unlike the Dragon Knight, the Gardener Terror actually does a lot of damage to heroes because it doesn't have that double damage to structures passive, so you don't always have to go for structures when using the Gardener Terror. In this teamfight, the Gardener Terror is using his E to get in range of the enemies so that he can Q them, put a slow onto them, and use his very strong auto attack to take enemies down. Because the Terror can deal so much damage, it's often smart to place a tank in there, because you can still teamfight with that large HP bar. Other heroes with very little utility in teamfights can also be placed in them, like a Lost Viking or Abatha. And also remember that due to the latest patch, your W now disables the core, which allows you to go for the core a lot earlier than compared to last patch. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this little tutorial I put together. Make sure you subscribe. I try to release content every week or so, and I'll see you guys later.